All right, President Trump talking about unity the last 3 days, but instead of focusing on that message of one America, one flag, well, you get the liberal media absolutely obsessed with how the president's tone was different in all three speeches. It absolutely was. Of course, you had different audiences. He's noted that, of course, in a tweet. Meanwhile, we're now looking at the possibility, as we were discussing, of a government shutdown in order to secure funding for the border wall. And there's news today that tax reform may not be happening this fall. Here with her thoughts on how the White House is trying to deal with all of this, Counselor to the President, Kellyanne Conway. Kellyanne, good to have you here.
Hi, Trish. Thank you.
You know, you guys are facing an uphill battle. You got the mainstream media out there attacking you every day. You get Steve Bannon now at Breitbart declaring war on some members of the administration perceived as globalists. And now Mitch McConnell says tax reform may not happen as soon as planned. I mean, how does the president corral lawmakers, Kellyanne? How do you guys do this in order to get what you need to do? And I would point out that something like tax reform is pretty darn important to this economy and these markets. How do you do it?
Just as with health care reform, Trish, the president stands ready with pen in hand to sign into law meaningful, consequential, indeed historic tax reform and tax relief. We know that the three major principles for this are to create more jobs, to reduce the tax burden on middle-class families, and also on employers, because that stimulates growth, to stimulate growth overall. Why are we settling for anemic 2% growth in this country? It was 3% and higher for many years, and now we've settled over the last 10 years or so for 2% growth. And then also to make the U.S. more competitive, to attract and retain an American workforce here at home. So those are the guiding principles he's put forward. I can tell you, behind me in this building, people work every single day on tax reform. I'm part of the principals group trying to support the efforts of our cabinet secretaries, our economic directors, and the president. He has committed himself to doing this. We hope Congress will follow suit. There probably isn't a single Republican member of Congress who did not at some point run successfully to get here, Trish, on tax relief and tax reform. We want them to make good on their promises. Look, with respect to the mainstream media, they're absolutely correct on one point. The president did give three very different speeches Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of this week, but they were different in substance. Let's not cover the style and the tone. Let's go to the substance, because that's what affects Americans. Monday, policy in Afghanistan, and also taking the case to India and Pakistan for their help. Secondly, on Tuesday night, he talked about immigration and border security, that we're a nation that needs we're a sovereign nation that needs its own borders. We spend billions of dollars helping other countries protect its borders. High time we do that here. And he also talked about sanctuary cities and Kate's Law. Yesterday in Reno, Nevada, talking to the American Legion about what? A two-pronged call for unity and for healing, which is being ignored roundly. And secondly, he signed into law the latest in what has been 5 or 6 major meaningful measures for our veterans. Yesterday, he told the 470,000 veterans in this country who have been waiting for a disposition on their benefits questions that help is on the way. So yes, the speeches are different, but they're different because of the substance. Folks, let's start covering the substance. You have a duty to connect people with information that they need.
Yeah, look, I agree with you. I think that, you know, you're playing to different crowds, and there's a different kind of tone, a different kind of technique in how you deliver a message when you're talking to all those folks in Phoenix that come there to see you in a rally versus, say, speaking at the American Legion. I mean, there's just the reality of what's appropriate for a time and place. So I don't have a problem with that, though many members of the mainstream media have a problem with everything he does, Kellyanne.
That's right.
Which is part of the issue.